How does a wrestler earn respect from a veteran and legends in the business?
I think the way for a young wrestler to earn respect from the veterans and from the legends goes back to what I was talking about before, about being able to stand out. And, you know, if you're standing out for the right reasons, you're going to earn respect. And I think first and foremost, it comes down to being a pro, be a professional. Conduct yourself as a professional, carry yourself as a professional, give the kind of respect that you want to receive. And what I've found is that a lot of the guys that you consider to be legendary, you know, it's not like how it used to be many, many years ago when top guys were trying to suppress young talent from coming up. The guys nowadays that you would call legends, they're looking to encourage younger talent. They want to see young guys step up. They want to give away their knowledge and experience to help younger stars become stars. So that's changed a lot to where, you know, guys aren't protecting spots, you know. And if you want to get over with the legends and the vets, it all comes down to being a pro. You know, people are always watching. They're always watching. You know, with the things you do, you'd be surprised who's catching what you're doing. But like I said, for the vets, if, you know, I learned a long time ago, you got television, telephone, telewrestling, you know, and it gets around. So if you're doing all the right things, that's going to get around. If you're doing the wrong things, it's going to get around. You know, if you're that young talent that, you know, did his early, on time, dressed well, you know, you're doing your warm-ups, you're asking questions, you're showing respect, you know, you're out there every week turning in top-tier performances, you know, you're asking for criticism and making the adjustments, you're cutting A-plus promos. These are all the things that, you know, veterans and legends are going to look at and be like, oh, this kid's got something. One thing that made an impression on me when I first met MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman, a lot of people don't know, I met him in the Northeast when he was 18, 19, and I was going to do a House of Hardcore show for Tommy Dreamer in the ECW arena. And the night before, we were somewhere in New Jersey, I think. And in Asbury Park, there was a documentary called Finding Joseph I about Bad Brains, their lead singer, HR, Joseph I. And they were doing a screening, and I wanted to go, but I didn't have any way to get there. So I asked a couple of the guys, and they were like, hey, this kid, you know, he's a pretty talented kid, and he said he'll take you. He just wants permission to just ask questions and learn from you. I'm like, say less. He was there early to pick me up at the hotel. We drove to Asbury Park together, and we watched the screening together. We hung out. We had a few drinks. We ate. We rode back. And the thing that the biggest...
How long ago was this?
18 maybe?
2018. Okay.
2019,
Okay.
somewhere 18, 19, somewhere around there. And it wasn't the questions. It wasn't that he was asking me questions, but it was the questions that he was asking.